Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing today? Well, in today's video, I would like to talk about something that was sent to me by a subscriber. And she lives close to where this is going on, okay? And this is taking place in Edinburgh, Indiana, okay? And the article starts out like this, okay? Melody Cox runs a small florist in the heart of Edinburgh's small but quaint, historic downtown. And the Afghan refugees arriving at Camp Atterbury, just a few miles down the road, are a frequent topic of conversation with customers. I'm not exactly sure how I feel because we've been given such limited information, she said. And in addition, what they're saying, the numbers they're bringing in is bigger than our entire population. So that puts you a little uneasy. Yeah, I agree. You know, if you live in a very, very small town and then they start bringing in thousands and thousands and thousands of refugees, and then you're like, okay, what's really going on here? You know, I mean, that would make anybody uneasy, you know? I mean, seriously. So residents throughout Edinburgh echoed her concerns on Friday. Now, just 2 days before, Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb, and that's Holcombe, held a press conference with the Indiana National Guard to discuss the Operation Allies welcome at length. Still, many residents still say they have a lot of questions. Now, the Indiana National Guard says it can accommodate, get this, up to 10,000 refugees at Camp Atterbury, although it only expects about 5,000. By comparison, Edinburgh's population is estimated at 4,792. So they already have a very small population of 4,700, almost 4,800, but yet they're bringing in nay. I just think about the limited resources here already, the impact of Rona here already, because it's already hard to get regular supplies, and then adding to what it's going to do to the population, she said. Adding, it's not so much the people, it's the logistics. Down the street, Jim Miller was eating lunch with his son, Clayton, at Big Red's place. He put his concerns more bluntly. I don't have any problem with it as long as I don't want, how do I say this? TERRORISTS. You know what I mean? As long as they're good people, it's fine. But, I mean, like, okay, they said they're vetting them, right? But are they? How can you vet people when they don't have social security numbers? They don't have, you can't do background checks on them. You just can't. You can't. They don't have birth certificates. They don't have, you know what I mean? You can't vet them properly. You know, I mean, we have terrorist watch lists, right? We have all that stuff. And didn't they already try to vet some of them, and over how many, 1,000 of them were considered to be on the watch list? So others wonder if the refugees will be staying in Edinburgh, and if so, whether they can assimilate. From what I'm hearing, they're already starting to complain about the living conditions at the military bases. I'm sorry. Do you prefer living in sand? In a hut? Or are military bases just not good enough for you? I'll shut up. They aren't just going to put them out in the general public, are they? Asked Mike Cooper, who was also eating at Big Red's place. They don't speak English. They don't have income. That's what they're saying in this article. It's not me. So don't be like, oh my God, I can't believe you just said that. I didn't say it. So, in fact, the Indiana National Guard has, shiznit, where'd it go? Has said non-governmental agencies hope to resettle the refugees in communities across America with support services. So coming to a neighborhood near you. Great. Okay, I know what you're going to say. This country was built by, immigrants. I know. My family was one of them. I'm Italian. You know what I mean? But still in all. Come on. I'm not even going to say what I want to say. And I know you guys are going to say, why didn't you just say it? Because it's a sore subject. And we're way too close to the 20th anniversary. That's why. Put two and two together. All right? So, it's unclear how many refugees will come and go from the base and travel freely in the surrounding communities. But all of them have to undergo a quarantine period in which they will receive a medical review and be offered the arm candy. And from what I'm hearing, they're also allowed to get ivermectin. Yeah. Which, I don't know if this is true or not, but we're not even being told we can have ivermectin. Unless you're hospitalized. Yeah. So, you can't even just get a prescription for it and go to the pharmacy. Nay. So Edinburgh's town manager, because that's how small they are, they have a town manager, Dan Cartwright, believes most people in Edinburgh support the refugees and wish them well. Do they? Because that's not what I'm hearing. That's not what I'm reading here. Yeah. So he and other local leaders are getting regular updates from Camp Atterbury, he said. And on Thursday, he met with the local church leaders to update them and agreed to help gather donations. Ow. These are allies, Cartwright said of the refugees. These are people the United States has been fighting side by side for at least 20 years. They've helped us. I get that. But and I'm going to say it again. And I honestly don't care who I upset. Okay? You should have brought our men and women home first. First. Our Marines, our service members, our military, our Americans. Even our dogs come home first. I don't care. I don't. Say what you will. All military families feel this way. I understand they fought alongside of us. But we want our family members home first. But oh, no, no, no. According to Potato, all the Americans that want to come home, they all want to come home, man. Yeah, motherfucker. You don't belong in that house up there. Why can't we have a president that is actually taking the job seriously? An administration that actually cares. I'll never forget when 9/11 happened. I'll never forget it. And I know I'm getting off course here, but am I really though? I'll never forget where I was, what I was doing, Sean was working at the sheriff's office. Me, I was working at Targets. I was working overnight. Andrew was 3 years old. Sean was getting ready to leave for work at the sheriff's office, and I was sleeping, and he was going to be waking me up, because he was going to be leaving, and I honestly, I had to get up, with Andrew. Okay. And he came in and he woke me up early. He shaking me. He said, get up. I said, what's going on? He's going, we're under attack. I said, what? He goes, the World Trade Center just got hit. What do you mean the World Trade Center just got hit? The World Trade Center in New York just got hit. I said, hit by what? He said, 2 planes. He said, the first one, he said, I thought was just an accident. He said, but then another plane hit the second World Trade Center. I ran out to the living room. This is when we were living in our very first apartment. This is before we built this house. And I just remember just standing there, and I fell back and I landed on the couch. And I grabbed Andrew. I was holding on to him. And I couldn't take my eyes off the TV. And I looked at Sean and I said, what's going on? What's really going on? And he said, we're at war. I said, with who? He said, I don't know. So he's all dressed in his uniform, sheriff's office uniform. He said, I gotta go to work. And I said, oh, baby, don't go. He said, I got to, hon. I said, be safe, please, God. Please. I prayed all that day. Please, please keep our first responders safe. So I got up, put Andrew in the high chair, gave him breakfast. And I put cartoons on for Andrew. And afterwards, I put him down for his nap, and I put the news back on. And I was watching. And God awful. Sean called from work and he said, you're not going to believe the calls we're getting for services and what's going on. He said, there's a mosque. He said, there's a neighboring area across from the mosque. I said, okay. People that live in the neighboring area across from the mosque, he said, there's people calling. They're celebrating going on in the mosque. He said, we don't know how to respond. How do you respond to that? How did deputies respond to that? When he came home that night, he was quiet. He didn't want the TV on. He ate a little bit of dinner, went to bed. We just laid there. We both cried. The next morning, he got up and had to go to work. And he said, I don't want to do this anymore. For days after that, there were still celebrations going on at that mosque. Now I realize that not all Muslims are bad. I know this, okay? And we cannot discriminate against people. But what my husband and other deputies experienced that day, what this world experienced that day, what this country experienced that day, we should never experience again. But unfortunately, people keep saying, with what's being brought into this country, they feel it's inevitable. And I don't want to think along those lines. I really don't. That would literally bring us to our knees once again. And I don't know if we would be able to recover this time. As Americans, we're so patriotic. I am so patriotic. And it's not just because we're a military and a law enforcement family, okay? I love my country. I will stand up and fight for my country if I have to. I fly my American flag proudly. I put my hand over my heart. I feel my heartbeat. Our flag waves not just with the wind, but because of the last breath of every military member that has perished fighting for the freedom of us Americans. Home of the free because of the brave, right? Heroes don't wear capes, they wear dog tags. That's how I see it. Or they wear a badge because they're a cop. You know. Or they're a fireman or an EMT. Alright guys, that's all for this video. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. You stay safe. You stay positive. You keep prepping. And as always,